Here's the part people hate hearing, but it's the truth. If you want real wealth, you're gonna have to give some things up. Not forever, usually just for a season. And yeah, that's exactly why most people stall out. They want the money, the freedom, the calm, the options, and they want the upgraded lifestyle right now, too. Cute idea. Doesn't work. I'm Vanessa, and I get a little obsessed with wealth building, money psychology, and why so many people say they want financial freedom, but refuse to make the trades that create it. So if you're serious about building something real, stay with me, because this is where the game changes. The first hard trade-off is the lifestyle you're living today. That one stings, because most people don't think of it as a sacrifice. They just think, well, this is normal. Rent, food, car payment, takeout, random subscriptions, little splurges here and there, and suddenly every dollar is already spoken for. If that's your life, you're not building wealth. You're just keeping yourself busy. Wealth starts with one boring little rule. Spend less than you make and invest the gap. That's it. No secret handshake, no magic trick. But here's the catch nobody wants to admit. Doing that usually means your current lifestyle has to shrink a bit. Maybe you keep the older car a little longer. Maybe you move into the less flashy apartment. Maybe you stop acting like every weekday night needs a restaurant attached to it. I'm not telling you to live like a hermit. I'm saying most people are spending like they already made it and then acting shocked when they can't build anything. You have to choose today's comfort or future freedom. Because for a while, you don't get both. And no, this isn't forever. That's the part people forget. You're not giving up comfort for life. You're giving it up long enough to build the engine that eventually buys it back. 5 years, 10 years, whatever it takes. First you stack assets, then the assets start working. Then, and only then, you get to relax the rules. Second trade-off? Convenience. This one is sneaky. Convenience feels harmless because it's just one little thing, right? A delivery fee here, a cleaning service there, grocery delivery, premium shipping, paid apps, laundry help, meal shortcuts, and suddenly your bank account is getting mugged by tiny little charges. People underestimate this so badly. That easy dinner order, it's not just the food, it's the fee, the tip, the service charge, and the extra, well, we're already ordering impulse. One meal turns into a mini luxury event. Do that a few times a week and, whew, you've basically built a subscription to being broke. And look, time matters. Of course it does. But if you're not wealthy yet, money has to win that battle most of the time. That means cooking more, driving your own errands, doing your own laundry, planning ahead instead of paying a premium because you waited until the last second. It's not glamorous. It's effective. Think of it like this. Every time you choose the more convenient option, you're buying time with money. Sometimes that's smart. But when you're trying to build wealth, you need to be careful not to buy so much convenience that there's nothing left to invest. A lot of people are basically paying to stay stuck. Third trade-off, instant gratification. This is a big one because modern life is basically built to train you into impulse mode. You see it, you want it, you tap it, it shows up. Easy, fast, dangerous. The problem is wealth and impulse are terrible roommates. If you want to build something substantial, you need to get comfortable waiting. I mean, actually waiting. Not, I'll think about it for 10 minutes and call that discipline. Real waiting. A pause. A cooling off period. A rule. When you want something, don't buy it on the spot. Give it time. A week, 2 weeks, 30 days if you really want to be serious. Most of the time, the urge passes. And that's the whole point. You realize it was a craving, not a need. Or maybe it still matters to you, but now you can decide whether it deserves a place in your plan. That's a totally different decision than buying from the emotion of the moment. This is one of the most underrated money skills in the world, because no investment strategy works if you keep yanking money out for random nonsense. People talk about returns all day, but the real win is learning how to not sabotage yourself in between paychecks. Fourth trade-off, looking successful. Oof, this one is expensive. Status spending is when you buy things to send a message, not because they're useful, not because they make your life better, because they make other people think something about you. Fancy watch, new luxury car, designer labels, the whole "please assume I'm crushing it" package. And honestly, actual wealthy people usually aren't doing this. They don't need the performance. It's the people chasing wealth or trying to appear wealthier than they are who get trapped in this. Why? Because status spending is emotional. It's about approval. It's about image. It's about wanting to look like you've arrived even when you're still in the middle of the climb. But every dollar spent on image is a dollar not building assets. And if that purchase is financed, now you're paying interest just to look impressive to people who are probably not even paying attention. That's the wild part. People will go into debt trying to look rich to strangers and coworkers while quietly wrecking their own future. You can't build wealth while auditioning for a role called successful person. Pick one. You can look impressive, or you can become financially strong. Fifth trade-off, the illusion of endless choice. This one sounds harmless, even nice, but too many options can quietly drain your money and your focus. When you're building wealth, you need more intentionality and less wandering around looking at every shiny option. That means fewer upgrades, fewer swaps, fewer subscriptions, fewer "maybe this version is slightly better" decisions. It means picking what works and letting it work for a while. A lot of people think they're being smart by constantly comparing every phone plan, every streaming service, every gym, every app, every internet provider, every product ever invented. But all that deciding costs energy, and more importantly, it often costs money. Because every time you reopen the decision, you give yourself another chance to spend more than necessary. Meanwhile, the person who picked something reasonable and stayed put is quietly saving thousands. No drama, no endless browsing, no constant switching, just consistency. And that's weirdly freeing. People think more options equals more freedom, but sometimes it's the opposite. Fewer decisions can mean fewer leaks. Fewer leaks means more money. And more money, shockingly, gives you way more freedom than endless shopping ever will. Sixth trade-off, comparison. This one is brutal because it doesn't feel like spending, but it absolutely can. You know how it goes. Someone's posting the perfect trip. Someone else has the apartment with the skyline view. Another person seems to have the dream job, the perfect closet, the cute partner, the polished life. And suddenly, your own life feels small. That feeling is dangerous because comparison makes people spend to catch up to an image, not a reality, an image. And here's the thing nobody posts. You have no clue what that person's finances actually look like. Maybe the trip was on credit. Maybe the apartment is eating their whole paycheck. Maybe the polished life is being held together with debt, stress, and a prayer. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel. That's not a fair fight. If you want to build wealth, you have to protect your focus from that noise. The only comparison that matters is you versus you. Are you saving more than you were 6 months ago? Are you making cleaner decisions? Are you investing consistently? Are you moving forward? That's the scoreboard. Your journey might look boring. Fine. Boring is often where wealth gets built anyway. Quiet car, home-cooked meals, less flashy weekends, fewer upgrades. It won't look exciting on the internet. It will look like a future with options. That's the part people miss. Seventh trade-off, the fantasy of a quick win. This is probably the most seductive one because everyone wants the shortcut. People love the idea that one trade, one deal, one investment, one business move, one lucky break is going to change everything overnight. So they chase the shiny stuff. They chase the hype. They chase whatever sounds explosive and fast. But real wealth? It's usually painfully unsexy. It's recurring deposits. It's low-cost funds. It's consistency. It's patience. It's letting compounding do the heavy lifting while you do not sabotage yourself every 3 weeks because you got bored. That's the game. And yes, that means you have to release the idea that wealth should happen quickly. Because the moment you stop hunting for instant transformation,
You stop wasting time on stuff that mostly makes other people rich. The people selling excitement make money off your impatience. The people building wealth are usually doing the same boring things for a very long time. That's why the quick win mindset keeps so many people stuck. They spend years jumping from one hot idea to the next, chasing something that never quite arrives, while the patient person down the hall is quietly getting richer. So if you want real wealth, here's what you're actually trading away. The bigger lifestyle now, maximum convenience, instant gratification, the need to look rich, endless options, comparison, and the fantasy that this should be fast. Sounds like a lot, right? It is. But let's talk about what you get in return. You get freedom. Real freedom. You get to say no without panicking.
You get peace of mind. You get the ability to take a risk, change careers, start something new, help family, take a break, or just breathe. You get security. You get flexibility. You get the option to live on your terms instead of your bill's terms. That's what these trade-offs are for. Not punishment, not deprivation, just a temporary exchange so your future can be bigger than your present. Most people won't do it. They'll keep spending like the future doesn't exist. They'll keep buying convenience, image, and excitement. They'll keep comparing themselves to people they don't even know. And years from now, they'll still be wondering why they never got ahead. But you don't have to be one of them. You can make the hard choices now while they're still manageable and set yourself up for a completely different life later. That's the real opportunity. The question is whether you're willing to pay the price that wealth actually requires.